In this video here, we're looking at a thoracic spine car on a 45-degree back extension. Now, I've probably already got you doing some sort of variation of a thoracic spine car. You've seen that movement already, and we don't have to go through it in a tremendous amount of detail. We've gone through that idea of flexion and extension of the spine, the ability of the spine to rotate, laterally bend, bringing it all together in terms of that full controlled articular rotation movement. Now, putting it in this 45-degree back extension is going to put a lot of emphasis on obviously the legs in terms of staying stable. You're going to get a tremendous amount of engagement from the posterior chain of the body. You're even going to tense up and really strengthen the tissue at the back of the knee in its ability to stay kind of fully extended. We're not going to be moving a lot through the actual hips. Obviously, it's a thoracic spine car, but putting it at 45 degrees will introduce a little bit more load in terms of gravity coming down and making it harder for you to sort of eccentrically load the tissue as you go into flexion, and then obviously concentrically load the tissue going into extension, and then obviously that degree of sort of lateral bending and rotation as well. So awesome movement to really advance what would be the thoracic spine car as you've probably already seen, and then obviously with the idea of something like a med ball increasing the load as well. So when we set up into this, you're probably going to set the pads a little bit higher than you typically would compared to say something like a leg extension or back extension, because we're just using it as a way of sort of helping us keep what would be sort of our hips locked and something to push against. As I was saying there, you want to experiment with the degree of knee bend that you can tolerate. For some of us, it's going to be the first time that we've really stressed the back of the knee in full knee extension. So for some, it might be a case where you can almost completely relax and really strengthen that tissue. For some, we might just have to bend and push the knees forward a slight bit. So that's up to you to experiment and play with. If we go through what would be sort of one without the weight at all, you can see from here, I would sort of cross the arms, and this just might be the first time that we go to do it. And we just want to make sure to some degree that as we flex, we're going to get a lot more stress and strain on all of the tissue from sort of like the lumbar spine into the thoracic spine. But obviously we want to see, can we tolerate it first? So we'll go through that thoracic spine car, making sure that we're not excessively moving through the hips or excessively moving through the lumbar spine. Remember, the movement is primarily coming from the thoracic spine. So while we come up into extension, we don't want to extend through the lower back. We want to still focus on extending through mainly the thoracic spine. But once we've gone through that, then we will be able to do this with, say, something like a med ball. So this is a 3-kilo med ball. I'm not going to be too brave in terms of my demonstration here, but obviously if the gym has heavier weights that you can sort of go up to, that's perfect. Start off with a lighter weight at first, the first time you do this. So like we've sort of demonstrated in the past, we hug and pull it towards the chest. We've got a good position. Now we'll flex down and we'll flex as far as we can go with the thoracic spine. We rotate to the right side, laterally bend to the right side. We now fight for extension from the thoracic spine. Up we go. We come across, rotating to the left side now, laterally bending, flexing down, coming to the center point. I can either continue across to my right side and get all my reps done, or I can reverse it. Laterally bend to the left side, start to come up into extension on the left, rotate across, laterally bend, and then down into flexion. And we've already gone through some of the things that we're trying to be aware of. We're making sure that we're not moving excessively through the hips, so your ability to sort of push the hips into the pad is really going to help you there, not losing a point of contact. If you are losing points of contact, then you can argue to some degree, like if you're moving excessively, you can argue that you're probably moving through the legs and you're not keeping enough stiffness. So that degree of irradiation that we've talked about in the past, how much you're hugging with the ball, really engaging the musculature of the upper body to try and summon more strength. And then same again with the legs, really engaging and squeezing, but not moving with them. Okay, so be aware of that. That level of irradiation is there to help us summon more strength in terms of the actual musculature around the spine that's going to be moving. It's not to move with other parts of the body where the intent is not to move with them. Okay, so keep that in mind. Any sort of questions or anything like that on this movement? I know it can probably be a little bit confusing, but we've hopefully got it to the point where you've advanced your thoracic spine cars and you're going to get a lot from this, okay? Like the video. If you like it, share it with someone if you think they're going to get some value. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future where I help athletes improve their strength and mobility, be sure to subscribe to the page. But for the moment, folks, I'll see you soon.